So the game of the week is this game called Buck. It's on Steam Early Access right now, so it's not finished. It's in development, and kind of the positive side of early access is being able to give input on games when they're still kind of 75% made and sort of top them off with maybe the best advice possible. Buck is developed by Wave Interactive. Their own description is Buck is a story-driven 2D Metroid brawler set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. You play as Buck, a motorcycle garage mechanic who decides to leave everything he knows behind in order to find the truth behind a girl's disappearance, all while struggling to adjust himself to a world he doesn't fully understand. And before we move on, I want to take issue with their description. I would not call this a Metroid brawler. A brawler it is, but I'm not sure where the comparison to Metroid is. When you say Metroid, it makes me think of Metroidvania, which is one large open map, usually both you can go left and right and vertical up and down, and areas of the map open up as you get powers and abilities. That doesn't seem to be what Buck is. Buck is more like, I would compare it to
a little Double Dragon-ish, maybe?
Well, Double Dragon's linear. I would say I would compare it to the N64, Mario 64, in the sense that there's a hub world that takes you into other levels that are semi-open. Now it's all 2D, so the 64-bit graphics isn't a good comparison, but the idea that you have a hub space and you can travel to other spaces that open up probably with the story and with missions, that would probably be a better description. Just keep in mind it's 2D.
1274 right now, by the way, as of today.
Oh, the game is 1274?
If you want to buy it, yeah.
$12.74? That's a weird price.
It's 15% off.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
$14.99 normally.
Okay, $15. And I think this is something that we both agree on, Chris, is that the game both takes itself too seriously and not seriously enough.
The dialogue is so dramatic.
Right, like that's the problem.
That's the way of things here in the desert.
Yeah, it's really ham-fisted, over-dramatic, beyond emo sort of dialogue and talking, but you place it on top of dogs running around and pretending to be humans essentially. It's not a good mix, right? One ruins the other. Either make it kind of silly and tongue-in-cheek and have those dogs be a little bit more funny than they are, or go the other way and make these humans who are really having a bad day. I mean, it's really serious, overly serious, on top of all these puppies beating each other.
The hyenas are kind of funny.
Yeah, I couldn't get into the plot at all or the story at all because it was just, oh my gosh, stop.
Like I was saying, this is the kind of thing I would have thought was awesome when I was 10.
Yeah.
Like back in the days of Ninja Turtles and Battletoads.
Telling yourself it's a dog's life.
Yeah.
Tough dog's life.
Yeah, I would have thought this was so amazing.
Let's get into a couple of critiques and then spin around to positives. Talking about the fighting, kind of clinky.
Yeah.
Or kind of sloppy.
Clunky.
I found that it was, if you don't break the system, then it's too unforgiving and clunky. But if you break the system, it's too boring. So, and what I mean by that is, if you run up on the guys and you try to fist fight them, they hit you, it's too unforgiving, you move slightly too slow for what they can do, and it just is rough. But if you break the system by running up on them or shooting them before they stop running, and then making them fall, and then hitting them with your crowbar repeatedly, not letting them get up, then you can do fine, but that's boring, right? There's nothing dynamic about that.
Well, and it takes away how you're always running, but the guys come on the screen so fast and hit you that you end up wanting to not really run forward.
Right. And also, I found that with the fighting, that I didn't like the health bar system so you craft a lot of things. That part's fine. Actually enjoyable, even light crafting. But when you take a health item to replenish your health, it doesn't give you the health immediately, but it slowly refills.
Yeah, so you can't just take it in the middle of a fight.
Well, it's one of those things that seems like a good idea on paper, like limit the health regen, but it has an unintended consequence, which is that means I just stand there waiting for my health. I might as well have a loading screen for the health, right? I'm waiting like 45 whole seconds standing still because I refuse to move on
That's
until
what
my
I've
health
noticed.
kicks
Other
in.
games that have that similar thing, they'll do that where there's like if there's no bad guys on the screen, then it'll instantly regenerate your health.
Okay.
So that it just makes it so you can't just pop a couple health things in the middle of a fight. You actually have to plan out your fights a little better.
So that would be maybe a good critique for making the game slightly better.
Witcher was like that, right?
Was it?
Yeah.
That it would replenish your health immediately, or?
Maybe not. But I know that during the actual fighting and stuff, it's all over time regeneration.
I think well, yeah, you're right. It was. But there was also ways of giving yourself health more quickly, I think, too. It was sort of a mixture of options with Witcher. I was just so good at Witcher that I never had to worry about my health.
But we don't all play on easy.
Oh, okay. To be fair, I played on normal, which is not... what's the name of their super hard mode? It was like...
I don't remember.
Death March or something like that. Okay, so moving into some positives. Wait,
the other thing. The loot button coming up. You know, when you kill a guy and there's a little icon
so
over
slow.
him. Yeah, and like you want this game to be fast, right? Where you can just keep running and stuff. But then you're already almost out of the screen by the time the loot button pops up over a dead body.
Yeah,
so
to tell you
can
get rummage something from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was times when I actually did wait a moment, thought I waited long enough, left, and then when I came back later, there was a little loot sign over him. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. And
So
sometimes it's hard to line up with. But, I mean, that's kind of always been the case with these 2D games, right?
Right.
Like lining up with the ladders and that sort of thing.
I think... I think part of the problem with this particular game is he doesn't stop fast enough when you stop moving him.
It kind of slides a little past.
Right, and that sliding a little past is annoying when you're trying to line up with a ladder. I moved past the ladder 3 or 4 times once before I could connect with it. Some positives, though. I think it's got a really distinct art style.
Yep, the music is great.
And the music's good. I think the art style is wonderful. I think the art style would be better honored if the audio wasn't so overdramatic, because it's too much of these things, right? You can have like a really serious yet walking dogs art style if it's complemented with something else that brings some humor or some lightness to it. But having like way over dramatic dialogue with way over dramatic art, it's too much in the end, right? It's too much of a flavor. It needs to be mixed up a little more.
I think on the positives, I really feel like there's a lot of time put into this.
Yeah.
Like it feels like somebody really knew what they were doing. Not that makes everything perfect, but like the layout of things and the UI and the atmosphere and everything else, like there was very clear vision. I feel like the developer knew what they wanted to do, they knew how to do it, and again, it's early access, so there are a few things I'm sure that'll get polished up.
Yeah.
But just I wanted to kind of give them props for that.
Yeah. And also putting out into early access a game that is actually made, not finished, but made, right?
Yeah.
So often early access is just like, this isn't even alpha, right? But they've gone the mile of creating a game that is obviously not complete, but it's there, it's imagined, it's ready to go, it is playable, right? Not just
a concept or an idea.
Right. So this is early access done right, And any critiques we have, we're making these critiques knowing it is early access. This game can be further developed, right? And the reason they do early access is to garner some PR, of course, but also to get some of these criticisms so they can make the best product possible. We were talking about having some thoughts on changes that could be made so that each of us would love it a bit more. Chris, I was wondering what yours was.
I would just like it to play a little smoother with the fighting. It seemed like there were kind of a little bit of delay sometimes on the shotgun, and with the what is that? He carries like a sword type thing.
Yeah, I thought it was like a crowbar.
Yeah, almost to the point where I didn't even want to use them. And I want a brawler type game to just feel. I want it to feel a little more. What's the right word? Like when you're playing a game and you don't even have to really think. Like it just happens the way you want it to happen. And when you just have that real smooth control, and you're not fighting the controls ever.
Yeah.
I would say it's close. It's not. I'm not saying it's bad. I just want that last little bit of kind of fine tuning.
Yeah. My advice is maybe slightly opposite of yours. Oh yeah.
So this is where I got stuck. Sorry, here in the video, the bad guy knocked me through the door into the next section, and then just kept reloading and giving me a death cutscene.
Oh wow! Look at that. That did happen. Oh jeez. Okay. Well, look out for that glitch there. Make sure you don't let the make sure you don't let a boss knock you through a door, I guess. Okay. Well, I would say that my advice is slightly different. If you wanted to please somebody like me, I would say that it needs more enemies on screen at once. There was never more than 2, which got a little boring. And the fighting needs to be more than just running up at each other and pressing some buttons. You know, they have the light attack, the medium attack, and the gun. I think you need to add a little bit of air, being able to jump. You need to add a little bit more combo to it. There just needs to be... I played the game. I obviously didn't finish the game, but I played quite a good chunk of it, and I was bored with the fighting. The basics are there for sure, but it needs to go beyond those basics. If you want to keep me involved in this game, you need to give me something that's got a little bit more movement to it, a little bit more combo to it, a little bit more than just running up on guys and hoping I knock them down before they knock me down. Looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulty in this video.
No,
we're just going to have black screen.
I'll edit it in later.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, actually.
Now I have to edit the audio, too. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to... Okay, well, I'm also going to give my phone number right now and my address. Make you edit all this stuff out. Or I'll give your address. You won't edit out my address. I'll give your address, Chris. Okay, well, I think we gave most of our commentary on this. Did you have anything you want to add, Chris?
No. I think that we pretty much covered everything we were thinking about it.
Yeah. Even though this is early access, it is what it is at the moment. It's $14.99 if it's not on sale. So, Chris, let's go back to our way of closing these videos and to remind our audience. So we either say that it's not worth playing at all, not worth the cost, don't buy it, or we say next step from there, wait for sale, buy it on sale, play it and enjoy it, or totally worth the retail price, buy it at cost, or go the extra mile. Maybe that means soundtrack, DLC, maybe it just means giving money to the developer. So that's kind of our 4-tier review system, you might say. So what do you think, Chris?
I would say in early access as it stands right now, $14.99 would be a little steep for me, even at $12.74. I think $9.99 I'd be okay with. Once it's done and all polished up and not early access, I think 15 is a fair price for the amount of work that you can tell has gone into this.
I think if it makes the improvements it needs to make, $14.99 is a good price, but I'm not going to assume it does. So I'm going to say this is something that's worth trying out on sale, especially if you like brawlers.
Yeah.
I think even as a brawler, it still has a long way to go. I mean, we recently played, well, not recently, I guess months ago, played Mother Russia Bleeds, which when it comes to fighting is miles above this one. Now, Mother Russia Bleeds didn't have crafting. It didn't have a hub world sort of system. It was just a linear game. So this game obviously offers some other things. But at the end of the day, you need to have fun playing it minute by minute, which is the brawling. And it needs to do a little bit better by that. So if it does better by the brawling, if they really advance upon the system, I think it could definitely be worth $14.99. But for now, I'm going to say buy it on sale. And I'd even say half off. I think this needs to be more of a $7 mark kind of game for me. For me to purchase it again. So there you have it. That's the game of the week. Buck, go check it out. Check out the developers. What's their name again?
Wave
Interactive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you can catch them on Twitter. You can find their information in our description below. And also, if I guess that's it. Have a great day. We at Game Club want to thank you for watching this video. And if you would, please like, subscribe right here, watch a couple extra videos, and keep playing games.